Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for holding this incredibly important hearing, and thank you, Madam Secretary, for being with us today. We appreciate all of your work. And thank you for highlighting the importance of the expanded child tax credit. We need to continue that effort to support lifting children out of poverty across the country. You talked about affordable housing, and I think there's clear consensus from the administration, from members of Congress on both sides of the aisle, and economists that we need more affordable housing to help families, definitely to help rein in inflation, but we had a challenge with affordable housing prior to the pandemic. I've seen it in my district, so many families who are seeing skyrocketing rents, not just in urban areas and rural areas, in our tribal communities. So I welcome the White House's efforts on this. I've introduced bipartisan legislation called the Affordable Housing Credit Improvement Act with Representatives Beyer and Walorski and Wenstrup, and it would strengthen and expand the low-income housing tax credit, what we call the housing credit. You know, there are two cost-efficient ways to increase housing credit production. One, to simply extend and increase the allocation of housing credits received by each state, and to lower the amount of bonds needed to access 4% housing credits from 50% to 25%. Then we can double the amount of affordable housing production. I wondered if you could speak to how expanding the low-income housing tax credit would help families with inflationary price pressures, and also what the administration is doing to help us make sure we make this a priority.
So it is a priority. Affordable housing is front and center on President Biden's radar screen, and he's looking at a whole host of proposals to make a difference there. The low-income housing tax credit, of course, is crucial, and it's something that allows families to spend their dollars on other family expenses. So it's critical. We're working on trying to make sure that we work on regulations. There are issues around the average income regulations that need to be clarified to make sure that that becomes more effective. And this is a high priority for us at Treasury.
Just on that point on the income averaging rule, last week I joined colleagues in sending a bipartisan bicameral letter to you and to Commissioner Rettig requesting a swift finalization of the average median income test rule. I just wanted to ask, I think the president announced last month that the IRS is going to finalize the rule no later than September 30th, and I just wanted to see if you're on track to meet or exceed this deadline so that we can make sure we have a final rule that will be workable with the low-income housing tax credit program.
Yes, you can count on that. We hope to get it done. We expect to get it done this summer and try to address some of the problems that have been raised in connection with the rule that I believe was finalized in November of 2020.